Shazam! Shazam! Okay, nothing. Well, the moral of all superhero stories is to be yourself, so what if it's... Durbin! Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for Shazam! And as you can see in the title of this video, once again, way to go, DC. Keep it going. This is a good role for DC. Aquaman was fantastic. I thought this movie was fantastic. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it an A- because I just had a fantastic theatrical experience watching this movie tonight. So grateful to have gotten an early show, so it was just fun to sit there and see this. Watch it with my brother-in-law. We were cracking up the whole way through. So I think this movie is just a genuinely fun movie. So if you're looking for a good movie, when this movie hits, this is a fun one. You will have a good time in the theaters with this one. Does it have its negatives? Yes. Is it hard for me to talk about those? Actually, it kind of is, because I think the negatives depend on your expectations as you go in. It is a very typical superhero origin story. I mean, it really does just kind of follow that superhero origin story pattern. And this one actually feels very patterned off Marvel. Now, I don't mean to say it ripped off Marvel in any way, shape, or form like the MCU. It really did not. But what I mean is how the MCU, when they do their origin stories, they have that focus on the humor. They got their post-credit scenes. This movie's got its 2 post-credit scenes. It's focused on the humor. It's focused on the fun. So in that sense, when I say it kind of reminded me of the MCU, that's what I mean. Because the DCEU started a bit more heavy and dark.
I understand.
This one is definitely more light and fun.
I'm Batman. Get him, Batman!
You can kind of go in, and if you're having superhero fatigue and you're tired of origin stories, I guess this could be kind of a negative. But why? It shouldn't be a negative, not even a little bit. I enjoyed this origin story. I enjoyed the way they put this together, the way it flowed. And one of the things I loved about it is because it's kind of like Big, but with superheroes. I had fun with that. Because what it did for the whole superhero aspect of it is it took me back to that time when I was about 14, 15 years old and loved superheroes. And I wanted to be Superman with the power of flight to fly away from math class. You know how when you're a kid and you just think about those sort of things and superheroes are just that kind of fun? It takes the superhero genre and it paints it in that light. It knows it's a superhero movie. It calls itself that. It embraces the fact that it's like Big. There's even a scene that is a great callback to the movie Big. It knows it's got superheroes. They use the term superheroes. I mean, you got Freddy going, I wonder where the supervillain is. There's probably not too many of those running around. I mean, they use these terms in the movie. The movie knows exactly what it is. It embraces what it is, and it has a blast. And it looks at it with that positive light that, you know, when we were teenagers and we would look at it with such a positive light. So on that level, it was so relatable to me, and it took me back to that. Billy Batson and Freddy, like our 2 leads, like the kid actors playing them were just fantastic. They had a great relationship and a great friendship. I mean, there was even scenes like when they would fight and argue, I'd look at it and go, number 1, what you're arguing about is stupid, because both of you are being completely and utterly selfish. But they did such a good job in having me care about these characters that I wanted them to be friends and get past this. And they did a good job telling the story that these selfish fights that they had at different points was part of their character growth, that it's something that they're going to grow up and grow beyond. And so they did a really good job of having Shazam have to grow up a little bit, because it's kind of a coming of age story, learning what it really means to be a hero, and Billy and Freddy learning what it really means to be friends. When they dived into the foster house, the other kids in the foster house were great. And so all of that chemistry of all these actors and actresses put together was really, really good. And I was surprised by that because, you know, you don't see too much of that in the trailer. So I'm not going to, you know, spoil that because this is spoiler free. I'm just going to say I enjoyed all of those relationships and all of those characters. And they did a really good job of pulling you into that story and pulling you into their lives and making you care about what was going on while still keeping things kind of light. I mean, it was kind of surface level, but I mean that in a good way. It stayed light, it stayed fun, it stayed on its toes, it kept moving. Zachary Levi was absolutely fantastic as Shazam. I don't know what else to say or add to that or add to what other reviewers have said. He was fun. He was hilarious. He just was perfect for that role. And his chemistry mixed with all the rest of that cast, it was seamless, from the young actor playing young Billy to Zachary Levi playing Shazam Billy. Like, it was seamless. It was so good the way that worked. And then Mark Strong, I like that guy. I think he's a great villain in this. And in the movie Green Lantern back in the day, for all the problems of that movie, Mark Strong was not one of them. He is a good DC villain, and he was a great DC villain in this. So, for all those reasons, I had a blast. I laughed. It was fantastic. It had good connections to the rest of the DCEU and kind of helping expand that universe, while not obnoxiously trying to expand the universe, but focusing on one character. All of that was just so good. So, A-. What did you think of Shazam? When it comes out, are you gonna see it? Let's talk down there in the comments. While you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by that subscribe button so you're notified for my next movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.